shouldn't look at Saudi.
All right. Back to entertainment for us in a political reaction that will be short. We've seen a lot of nonsensical ranting that happened yesterday as MBADI was actually speaking to the delegates, the Meru delegates, and he insinuated tribal kind of attacks, indicating that whistleblowers are wasting time, that even as you talk about Safaricom, you must know that any single business you are running has to pay the government before it operates, okay? So he was actually ranting in a way that he really revealed a lot of things that he was not supposed to do, including indicating that the government has a way to collect tax, whether we like it or not, to run the government. And I was like, okay, it's okay if it's running the government and doing a lot of progress in the country. Unfortunately, when you look at the Senate committees, wherever they go, they have been traveling across the country, including including Busia. They began from somewhere in Nairobi. They were with Sakaja. They also went to Busia, the governor of Busia. We also saw them now recently going to Marsabit. They were at Mandera with Governor Khalif. They were also today at Kitui and Tharaka-Nithi. And the other day they were in Bungoma with Governor Lusaka. So guys, drama after drama. Of course, they had been with Mbarire in Embu, and the many questions they asked went unanswered. And of course, the bone of contention is that there is a lot of undocumented processes in the counties. We also have a lot of employees that cannot be accounted for, ghost workers. And apart from that, money that cannot be stated, like payments that cannot be told. Because like, take the situation of Mandera. How can a governor say that 20 million was used to buy seedlings? And then when he is asked, he says they were seeds, not seedlings. Which kind of seeds were these anyway? When you come to the Marsabit one, he had also another saga. A lot of money had been squandered. You go to Busia, a lot of money had been squandered. Now, check in Sakaja in Nairobi, the aspect of garbage collection, a lot of money had been squandered. Yesterday in Bungoma, Lusaka could not account for buying a Christmas tree at 2 million shillings? Now today, the governor of Kitui, again, could not account for so many things. And the Tharaka-Nithi governor had to escape and conduct a contempt in attending the meeting. You get it? So now MBADI comes out and begin to rant and rant. Of course, I'm going to play it in time soon, just a few minutes. Are you sure? Are you sure? Sasa hizo mnafanya nini? So Kenya ndiko soko kwa. Sasa mnachanganya na gani kwa? Mwaga hizo nguo chini na mtoa socks zenu uoge hapa. Sonesha hiyo sabuni kule. Mweka sabuni kwa mlango kwa nini? Alafu nyampa kutumia sabuni mkanimalizia sabuni. Usichanganye socks za leo na zenye nilikuwa nimesocks. Utakuwa umenisinya tu. Kwa zenye nilikuwa nimesocks nilikuwa nimesugua mpaka zimeng'ara. Toa huko hiyo ndoo. Toa hiyo ndoo. Weka maji hapa baridi uoge. Ushaoga kwa hiyo ndoo. Weka socks chini. Yeah, so guys, when I look at this aspects like MBADI, why did MBADI have to rant like this? You know, I didn't find it sensical actually to say all that he said. If the sale of Safaricom is genuine, a whole treasurer shouldn't keep ranting as if he's drunk or something. I don't know whether he was actually intoxicated, because I don't understand this. Let's just listen to what he was saying meanwhile.
100%. Kibaki government privatized. Safaricom, they are privatizing assets in this country. Kenya Re was privatized. Kenya Commercial Bank used to be owned by government 100%. Kibaki government privatized. Safaricom, we used to own it 100%. Moi released 60%, 40%. So Kibaki government released 25%. That is 65. That is why today we have 35. When we want to release 15%, noise. Why? Is it because it's MBADI is in office and not Kimunya? When Kimunya released 25%, why did you make noise? Uhuru did not release any. That is why we have these debts today. KINDIKI leading the most profitable company in Africa, or in the region, in our region, East and Central Africa.
Cassandra, welcome.
More shares as a government.
Welcome to the dramas of the political government in Kenya.
The profit that now, the dividend that we are getting today is much, many times more than what we used to get when it was 100% owned by government, and we are owning 35. When we release 15, 20% may even give us more, because these investors will bring in more capital into it and expand it even in other countries. So, my friends, hii kitu mnaambiwa ati wanauza. First of all, government is not in business or doing business. The government should provide a platform for private sector to thrive in doing business. I keep on telling you that government already owns 30% of your business. Hata ile kiosko yako hiyo kiosk una hold. We have 30%, and you pay us first before even you pay your staff. Ile pesa unapeana serikali. Before you pay yourself, unapeana serikali, whether you like it or not. So we don't need to struggle with you on over dividend. Chukua dividend ukae naye. Mimi give tax. We run the government. So now what we are doing with Kenya Pipeline is that, and external. Because oil marketers are the largest, biggest stakeholders in KPC. We want them to have a stake. 20% will go to institutional investor Kenya. That is pension funds like NSSF or PSSF. We have mutual trust funds. We have insurance companies, those who want to buy but are corporate. Then we have 20% for you and I, the ordinary people, to invest. Then we have 20% for our brothers and sisters in the East African region. We are targeting more particularly Uganda because they are interested in investing here. Uganda provides revenue to KPC of 32%. 32% of KPC revenue comes from Uganda market. That is not a market you can ignore. So we are offering them about 20%. Let them have a stake here. Let them have their representative in the board so that they can have more confidence and continue doing business with us. They shouldn't look south to Tanzania. Should look east. Right? We are giving them 7% of their petroleum products we are transporting to Uganda. 3% comes from Dar es Salaam. We want 100%. And then now 20% will go to other investors globally. But the bulk of this is still going to be owned by Kenyans. When we get the money, and we get money from Safaricom, we are projecting to raise 106 billion. And if you see how Ugandans are excited, actually they were very angry that we only allocated 20% to East Africa. And Kenyans are still hesitant. Ugandans are very excited. I was there up to yesterday. I came from Uganda yesterday. They're very excited. They're pushing us, we should increase that percentage. But we told them we have our capital markets authorities, rules and regulations, which cannot allow that, and the national interest. So, if we get this 106 billion, and we are getting 244 billion from Safaricom, that is 350 billion. We will put this money in the National Infrastructure Fund. We are not going to use it to pay salaries. We are putting it in a fund that is going to develop commercially viable national or public infrastructure project. Let me move to conclude. So what happens? What happens is that we will not tax you more. What happens is that we don't want to take excessive loans in going forward. But we will not tax you more. In fact, we are thinking now of reducing taxes. So let me announce this here, that we have agreed with His Excellency the President that low-income earners in this country should be given a reprieve. We have agreed with His Excellency the President. He has directed me to take to Parliament a proposal. I'm not even waiting for finance bill to come. I am taking tax laws amendment bill to Parliament. Once Parliament resumes, we are preparing that bill, take to them to approve so that any Kenyan, and by the way, how many Kenyans are salaried? About 3,065,165 Kenyans. Out of these 3 million, 1.5 million Kenyans are earning 30,000 shillings. 30,000. 30, like this. Mheshimiwa, you just look at your salary and mine and imagine that someone who is earning 30 and myself, that government is coming for our money, both of us. So we have said government should come for my money and leave the person who is earning 30,000 alone. So any Kenyan, if this law, and I'm sure, I don't think there is any mad MPs in Parliament who will oppose that. If you're looking to import clean cars from...
So, if you have listened to that carefully, then you realize that he was a bit of less. At some point, he said that if he retires, then he will not lack what to survive on. He has money to live on. So people should not keep bothering him with retirement or losing elections, because if they lose, he still survives, guys. So now, MBADI at the same time, he was actually playing the role on Ruto's government to actually lure Kenyans into understanding that they are being cared for, that there is a bottom-up economy. And I don't know how Kenyans responded to that, because it is very interesting to understand what happened after that, you know. Knowing whether people appreciated that or not is really important. And I just don't know how the Kenyans responded to that. Maybe I would wish to have seen the comments on his comment section. Meanwhile, OBURU and WANGA are actually pushing Kindiki aside. You remember that WANGA came up yesterday and said that OBURU is going to bargain for major positions, half-half, from the government. Let's hear what OBURU said here.
Deputy President, usifikiria ya kwamba tunataka kiti yako, tunataka kukufukuza. Please, you are our friend, but as we negotiate, we are going to negotiate what our people deserve. We are going to negotiate what our party deserves. Our party is not a Jaluo party. It is a party for the whole of Kenya. And therefore, we are going to negotiate fairly. We don't want tribal parties. Hatutaki tribalists kuongeza nchi yetu. So we are going to negotiate, and we are not going to take anybody's share. We are only going to make sure that everybody gets their fair share.
Mheshimiwa Rais, tunakupongeza vile unaendelea kuunganisha taifa letu la Kenya. Na umeleta ndugu zetu wa ODM. Sasa tuko katika broad-based administration. We are stronger together. You initially tulikuwa Kenya Kwanza, tulikuwa UDA, but with the ODM family, the country is stronger, the country is more stable, and we want to encourage you as you look forward towards the implementation of the 10-point agenda and all the other programs that you had agreed with the ODM through the leadership of the late Prime Minister Raila Odinga.
So does that statement from WANGA?
So, while OBURU is actually promising Kindiki that they are not going to take anything, Gladys Wanga said UDA will take a half, ODM half. And clearly, of course, we've been hearing a lot of things about Gladys Wanga vying as the co-candidate with President Ruto, so that she becomes the deputy to him. And that means, of course, Kindiki has to seek for another position, because that there is no way there will be two deputies unless otherwise. So in the process, let's see, because the opposition now, on the other hand, has actually had a difference for today. Uhuru Kenyatta has joined hands with Gachagua and something different has happened. How is the State House? Are they in a panic mode? Let's just check on this.
Kenyan politics jolt, not with a rally, not with a court ruling, but with a political reconciliation few saw coming. Kalonzo Musyoka has pulled off a rare feat, bringing Uhuru Kenyatta and Rigathi Gachagua into the same political room, and out with an agreement. No cameras, no applause, just consequences.
We cannot sit back and see you use your protege kumkosea heshima Rais Uhuru Kenyatta. Na mimi nikiwa kiongozi wa mlima ni jukumu langu kulinda watu ya mlima, akiwemo Rais Uhuru Kenyatta ambaye ni kiongozi wetu.
Uhuru Kenyatta has largely stayed off the front line since leaving office in 2022. Rigathi Gachagua has been politically bruised since his 2024 impeachment, but not erased. Both men retain something dangerous in Kenyan politics: influence without responsibility. By aligning them, Kalonzo has turned two loose cannons into a potential block that alone changes the political temperature.
Lakini kusema si mstaafu sio kusema uniingize kidole kwa macho.
The groundwork wasn't laid in Nairobi. It was laid in Nigeria during early January meetings in Lagos and Abeokuta. Uhuru and Kalonzo spent days in closed-door engagements with former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo. Obasanjo is not a ceremonial elder. He is a political mediator with continental weight. Those sessions opened channels, softened positions, and prepared the ground for reconciliation, especially on the Mount Kenya question that had long divided Uhuru and Gachagua.
The truth of the matter is that we have inherited a dilapidated economy. I want to tell you, William Ruto, hakuna vibaraka yako tena watatukana Rais Uhuru Kenyatta.
Ujamaliza? Anabel, ujamaliza? Sasa unabeba kwa mkono ya nini? Enda uweke socks za leo hapo ndani.
The public response has not been euphoric. It's cautious. Some see opportunism, some see maturity. Many simply see movement, and movement is dangerous in a political environment built on stagnation. Attention has shifted. Conversations have reopened.
Na mimi nikiwa kiongozi wa mlima ni jukumu langu kulinda watu ya mlima, akiwemo Rais Uhuru Kenyatta. And they will never support anybody who is not from the mountain. Kwa niaba ya familia yetu ya Makuzo, tunamwambia William Ruto, Kalonzo Musyoka is not available for you. Wewe kwenye tafuta makazini yako. Mtupe kiongozi wenu Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka tuende tuunde serikali.
This isn't
appear to have nose-dived during the swearing-in of the Kenya Kwanza administration at the Kasarani Stadium, when former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua launched a scathing attack on former President Uhuru Kenyatta, almost going personal, tainting him as a failure in his leadership in his presence.
The truth of the matter
is that we have inherited a dilapidated economy that is facing almost an economic shutdown.
I will defend my family, right? And I will defend it to the end.
The former deputy president will further use his powers to politically frustrate the Kenyatta family, going to the extent of the police protecting goons who invaded the Kenyatta's Northlands farm, destroying property worth millions of shillings. But as fate would have it, the former deputy president Rigathi Gachagua would later find himself in the deep end of the opposition after he was hounded out of office through an impeachment motion.
Then the
With no
assignment.
options left, Gachagua would later seek an olive branch from the Kenyatta family in a bid to cement his political influence in the Mount Kenya region. Talks to bring the two together have been ongoing and spearheaded by Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka. And now KTN can confirm that the handshake between the fourth President Uhuru Kenyatta and DCP party leader Rigathi Gachagua is already sealed. According to the inner circles in the United Opposition, the deal was sealed in Nigeria at the beginning of this year. The former president and Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka quietly held a high-level meeting with former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo at the sidelines of the prestigious Future Africa Leaders Awards.
Alright guys, it's such a shocking thing, but expected of in politics, that most times the people who are actually vying for positions seek allegiance with either the United States or even the African leaders that seem to be outstanding. Nigeria is one of the countries that is respected because of its population and oil, just like South Africa is respected for its technology, and Gambia, among other nations, for other reasons. Now, when you look at the presence of Uhuru Kenyatta and Kalonzo Musyoka in Olusegun Obasanjo's zone, then you understand there is something more in politics. Just as the government is firmly holding anti-Uganda, Museveni has led for so many years. There are strategies they learn from them, whether it's military or whatever. Of course, yesterday we heard clearly how it was indicated that all the staffs and those who are within UDA have gone for military training in Uganda some days ago. Whether the allegations are truth, that speaks volumes to us. On the other side, the United Opposition is making a lot of allegiances with the outside world. Of course, starting with the Gachagua himself, who traveled to USA and had to spend a lot of days, then collected money and came back. And then now, Kalonzo Musyoka was also insinuated to have been invited by Trump the other day. And of course, this visit to Olusegun Obasanjo's country was not just a free ride. So that tells us there is a possible handshake and a possible ongoing process that United Opposition has taken. No wonder Matiang'i is now strongly coming out in the opposition to show what he showed the other day in Nairobi and Murang'a. So let's keep waiting, but it's wise always to think about our future as citizens as we keep watching and seeing what is happening. And of course, we've seen a lot of the governors being cruel, and whatever answers they give, some of them are funny. For example, we saw a governor of this is where saying something here. Let's just check.
Chair, through you, Governor, we have previously rejected this argument that somehow certain people don't apply for positions. I remember when we were discussing this issue of ethnic balance. You cannot tell me that a Kikuyu staying in Kitale will refuse to apply for a job, and then there's a colleague of yours who came and told us that people from outside that county do not apply for jobs. You and me as political leaders know what exactly is happening in our counties, because there are people who think certain counties belong to certain people, so that if you come from Bungoma, you can't apply for a job in Trans Nzoia, they will tell you, nyinyi muko na yenu. Especially because of the special nature of PWDs. I agree with you. This is an affirmative action measure, so that there have to be deliberate efforts to be able to get them to even apply. It is not something you just say they don't apply. We have rejected that argument here. And if you ask these senators here, actually Kenyans want to work. We are asked for jobs every day. They send me messages in the thousands saying, I just want to come even if I'm going to sweep your office. So it is not possible that you can say people don't apply. If you look at recruitments that happen at the national level, you are looking for 20 people, you get 50,000 applications. So, Governor, that argument that people don't apply for jobs, here we really don't agree with such arguments.
Maybe let's get all of this first so that you can respond at once.
Two things, Governor. One, this is a constitutional obligation. So, as Senator Spooner has said that. Number two, out of 3,661, 51 employees are people living with disability. My question to the governor, how many people, including your partisan staff, have you employed, including casual employees? And finally, I thought in any advert, even if you open online or in there always a red line that says PWDs and youth and women are encouraged to apply. So I thought that is how you encourage senior council. It is not that they refuse to apply. For some of us who have interacted with the officials from PWD Council, they even have their own ID if you have doubt. So, Chair, I agree with Senator Sifuna that argument is neither here nor there.
Annabella,
Governor, maybe it's courtesy of your normal rhetoric.
Why fanya ebu leta hiyo assignment nione. All right, guys. So that is one of the clips that I've just played at last, and we end it here. A short video for today. We have to create another session for social reaction. Bye bye for now. Nataka kwenda soko sasa.